I'm having fun, I'm watching nice films, really good pictures. I'm hanging out with great filmmakers and also local staff who are very friendly. And even tomorrow I'm going to the rugby match with Romania, Georgia. So I'm having a very good time. I'm very happy. I cannot identify myself with Trump. I think we're not the same type of folks. I'm not as terrific as he is. As for the, I don't know, there is another big guy from Russian Federation, I noticed. There is the Muslim extremist with a bomb. It's hard for me to identify with any of those. If I speak about my film, in my film there is a space of little bit of all those matryoshkas, including politicians, and even there is this religion extremism part of it there. There is a media coverage. I see also there is this journalist, one of those matryoshka, so it's also part of my film. And religion, I think a little bit of all matryoshkas are in my film, but to identify with them, it would be difficult for me. Yeah, it's hard for me to really see in which of those matryoshkas I can fit in. My film is based quite on a personal story, and I am indirectly the character of the film, or even directly. I'm not in the pictures often. Yeah, the motivation came from my first experience of experiencing being a war journalist, war photographer, and that was a trigger. And then I tried to answer those questions, or try to find the answers of the questions why people choose that kind of profession or that kind of life of being a war reporter or war photographer, war cameraman, like going to the war, which you don't have to, you know. It was triggered by personal experience, and then I followed the characters of the film, observing and trying to understand why they go, why they do that, and also what war does to them. So that was how it all began. When I first found myself in a war atmosphere or in a war field, being a war photographer, it's also part of in the film when I explained that then I found out, after I came back, I found out that there was something calling me back. Like I really wanted to go again and do this. And actually I wanted to become a war reporter. It didn't work with me. And then gradually, years later, this desire dissolved, so it's not something I want to do anymore. But then there have been people around me, professional war reporters and war photographers, and I tried to find answers on why I wanted to become a war reporter through their stories, while following their experience and what was their attitude or philosophy of war reporting or going to the war. And that's where I noticed that actually you cannot really go to war and come back and continue your peaceful life, you know, and then go to another war and come back and keep it on a distance. No, I think as you open door to war, it gradually comes to your life in one way or another. And that's why I came up with this logline: if you go to war, war will come home with you. So every time you come back, you bring something from it, and it becomes part of you, part of your consciousness, part of your memories, part of your mindset, or I don't know. And the characters that I followed, unfortunately, I could observe that I could see the damage that the war is causing to their life or to their peaceful part of it. So that's why I came up with that logline, and I did not become a war reporter, so I don't really have to cope with that. But those people do have to cope, and unfortunately there are tragic stories as a consequences of that relationship to the war. None of them, not all of them are alive today. One was murdered, other committed suicide, and all of them ended up in difficult situations, if I may say so.